Okay, I said it was going to be my last video on free will and its relationship to difficulty, but I was just thinking of something. I was thinking about the presentation that Cyphers Redeemed did in regard to compatibilism and free will and determinism. And he came up with a term that is, I wouldn't say synonymous, but is pretty similar to free will, but I guess he thinks it resolves some conceptual problems. He called it control. And you will see in my example, um, by using the word control as opposed to free will, why I say the most difficult moral tasks in Catholicism, in Christianity, in Protestant Christianity, are used to demonstrate man's maximum control or free will. Let me give you this example. Who has greater control in your perception? Some guy who does not have somebody bother him. Nobody really bothers him. He gets along with everybody. Everybody likes him. And one person called him stupid, and he just laughed at it. That's person A. Now, person B is a person who's mocked out every single day. He's called the most offensive names. He's trying his best not to lash out on people, and he doesn't. But it's really a struggle for him. Okay. Look in the Superman movie. Look at the how he was mocked out. Okay, that's person B. Now person A, he has somebody mock him out once in a while or try to insult him, and if you look at the insults, it's not really something that's really that offensive, for most people. So, we don't really think anything of it. Okay. Is the guy's not really that tempted to even respond. So the temptation to respond even in a malevolent way for person A is not really there. But the temptation to knock the person out every time every time he's getting mocked out, not every time, but when he's getting mocked out, totally disrespected, he gets spit at, he's getting spit at every day, he's being called like racial slurs every day, he's just being totally insulted by people. They're really trying to get this guy to fight, and he resists this, and he resists the temptation to fight back. Who has more self-control? Well, clearly, from even a contemporary worldview, the Superman who resisted temptation to fight other people in that Man of Steel movie, that guy, and that's the person I'm using as person B, that guy has greater self-control. That implicitly says that free will exists. From a Christian theologian, that implicitly shows that free will exists, that there's no cause, there's no temptation that can induce you to do something. This guy is used as an example, okay? So again, we see the delusion that the more difficult a task or a challenge is, if you overcome it, it demonstrates the existence of free will on an optimal level. Okay, so that's one way to look at it. The control. So if you want to use free will or you want to use control, those two words are very similar. So that is a way you can understand, and when it comes in terms of belief, that the temptation there may be the temptation by Catholics to find this Holy Trinity ridiculous, and the resurrection ridiculous if they're using a scientific mind. But if they override it, it shows their free will to trust God, because it doesn't matter the circumstance. It doesn't matter what the context is. The trust will remain. Okay. Look at the story of Abraham and Isaac. That's again demonstrates. I mean, the story of Abraham and Isaac, you could, I mean, a Christian and even maybe even a rabbi may infer that no other person on earth would listen to God. They would think they're insane. But Abraham trusted God. He trusted God. No matter what reason, he trusted God. Now, he had every reason to doubt God. The greater, again, guys, the greater the temptation to doubt, the greater the temptation to break God's commandments, the greater many of the Christian theologians will says free will exists, that there is no such thing as determinism. That is their bedrock. That is their theological foundation. Now, I'm not saying all of them are like that, and I'm sure there's some Calvinists that are determinists. But the Protestant that we are dealing with in this country often uses that theme. Have a nice day.